Code of conduct.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. God made me punch in accurate numbers. My castle won't crumble. What I tackle will fumble. I've been a leader when they ain't see it, but now my feet is up. According to me, royalty didn't end with King Tut. Crown on my head, clouds is at my legs. Big says sky is the limit. I look down on the ledge. I push the bar like I'm opening a cell. Hands in my cookie jar, you won't come out with a single nail. I need all of mine. The weight of my shoulders won't fit on a scale. What's a king to a giant? Well, Goliath fell. Even if we playin' chess, dog, this king can't be checked. I make all my moves on the board, I invented my steps. I'm a king, the blood of a ruler, I feel like Mansa Musa. Make your squad disappear like landing by the Bermuda. Triangle, look at it from my angle. I'm a king, the closest thing to being one of God's angels. I'm a king. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is the Code of Conduct with the King podcast. I am your host, Jay Spence the King. And I'm going to just tell you, I don't know. I just did my opening, and y'all know I say it every week. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. But we got some news today that kind of broke about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, that doesn't make it feel like much of a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. The legendary John Madden, Coach John Madden, passed away today at the age of 85. And so I kind of want to just open the show and spend a little bit of time talking about his legacy and how amazing he is or was. And, you know, there's a whole generation, there's multiple generations of people who know John Madden for several different reasons, but I kind of just wanted to take a brief moment just to talk about it because he's so much more than a video game name. You know, he's so much more than the guy that always, you know, because a lot of times, you know, you think about John Madden, you think about the video game, especially now. Younger kids, my nephews, you know, they play Madden. So when they hear Madden, all they think about is playing their favorite game online, talking crap to people across the country that they don't know, and you know, whatever. That's what they think about. But for me personally, John Madden is probably the real reason that I got interested in football. And I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not saying that just with the events today and try to be dramatic about my emotions or my feelings. But John Madden, 100%, he made the game relatable to people who did not understand the game. It was comical at times because of the way he talked and because of the way he, you know, chose to point out everything that was, you know, anything that he was talking about. The way he articulated it and the way he, you know, diagrammed his, you know, his plays and all that stuff. It made it funny, but at the same time, it really made it easy to understand for people. And one of the things that I will always remember is, you know, his love for pretty much just the game in general, regardless of how he was talking about it, what position he was talking about, when he was talking about it. He had so much passion for the game. And if you know anybody who was a Raiders fan, they'll even have a completely different love affair or a love story with the legend of John Madden because of him being the coach there. And I'm gonna just tell you, this is a sad day in sports. This isn't a sad day for football. This isn't a sad day for video gamers. This is a sad day for everybody involved in sports. John Madden was, if not the best, he was one of the best just people, period. You don't have, so the way you hear all these bad stories about guys and the way you hear all this negativity about guys, and now like 5 years later, things come up about people and blah, blah, blah. John Madden's 85. You ain't heard a thing. You ain't, and you're not going to hear a thing because his love was football. His love was making people fall in love with football. And the best way that he was able to articulate it, that's what he did. So, I guess the best way I can honor him tonight by doing my show is by talking about, you know, some of the things that he loved so much. So I'm gonna start off by talking about Brett Favre, and anybody who was a John Madden fan knows why talking about Brett Favre is, you know, it honors him to do so. I'm not gonna do it in a way where I sit here and I have a love speech about Brett Favre, even though for a long time Brett Favre was my favorite quarterback. The thing that I wanted to talk about Brett Favre to tie it into this show, because it's a heavy Bills related show, I wanted to talk about how Sunday we looked at our quarterback in Josh Allen, and if there was ever a game that I can say he reminded me of Brett Favre, damn it was this past Sunday. It was this past Sunday where I can say Josh Allen, he said growing up that Brett Favre was his dude and Brett Favre was one of his favorites and Brett Favre this. I'm going to tell you, if there was any game that we can say that Josh Allen looked like Brett Favre in the right way, it was this game. I personally feel like this was the best game of Josh Allen's career, and he's had multiple. He's had multiple. You can go back to the game down in Miami. Really any game in Miami, he seems like he just dominates every single time he plays them. But this time around, playing against New England in New England, came up big. He came up big, and he made throws that were just ungodly. They were throws from out of this world. I don't know how he made some of the passes that he made, but he did it. And I guess the way I can tie that in, the reason why I brought up Brett Favre is because one of the things that amazed me about Brett Favre as a kid, and again, this is why John Madden made me fall in love with the game, because my first favorite quarterback, no, it wasn't Jim Kelly. Sorry, Bills fans. My first favorite quarterback was Brett Favre. And the reason being is because when John Madden started to talk about Brett Favre and he started to break down how ridiculous some of the throws were and how amazing just the gameplay of Brett Favre was, it reminded me about Sunday. And Josh Allen made a couple throws. He made like maybe 4 or 5 different throws that make you just say, holy smokes, what in the world is going on? But one in particular that he threw to Isaiah McKenzie. Josh Allen was dropping footballs in buckets from 20, 30, 40 yards out every single time. And as elusive as he can be, and as strong as his arm is, and as amazing, like all of these things that Josh Allen has become, he's also very, 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 like, the growth that we've witnessed from this guy from year one until now. It annoys me when we always hear these other quarterbacks coming up and they're like, well, if he can make a Josh Allen leap, well, if he can do that, I'm gonna tell you, Josh Allen wasn't expected to make a Josh Allen leap. Like, it's an impossible thing. He did it, but it's like before Josh Allen, you can't name me 2 quarterbacks that made the type of jump that Josh Allen has made from year 1 to year 4. You can't do it. So now, you look at this game Sunday and you look at, first of all, and let me pause from Josh for a second. Can we talk about Isaiah McKenzie being a freaking GOAT? Can we talk about how Isaiah McKenzie and everybody in the comments and everybody who's going to listen to this in podcast form, I've been extra critical of Isaiah when it comes to special teams play. And I still have some people kind of yelling at me like, well, no, Isaiah is probably still the best special teamer. He's not. He's not. And he shouldn't be back there for special teams. I'm going to just tell you that. But what he should be there for, he needs to be in the offense. And he needs to be in the offense to the point where, sorry to say this to Cole fans, he needs to just take Cole snaps. I love Cole Beasley. I've been saying for the longest that I felt that he was one of the top, he's one of the top slot receivers in the league. But this year, I just haven't been getting that same top slot receiver type of feels. It doesn't seem like he's making the plays that he was making last year. All those things. Now he had a game where he kind of was bailing us out, but that's not what we've been getting. So Isaiah McKenzie took full advantage of all of that. He took full advantage of all of that. So now you talk about this pass that Josh Allen made to the sideline where Isaiah, I think it's the pass that took him over 100 yards, actually. Look, I don't know what Brian Daboll figured out. I don't know what Josh Allen figured out. I don't know what Lil Dirty figured out. All I'm going to tell him is to keep eating what you ate for breakfast. Keep drinking what you drank the night before. Don't change a damn thing, because we got 2 more games in this season and we need to bring this thing home. Josh Allen's that dude. Josh Allen is that dude. I'm actually bring my family in now, because I told him to kind of come in a little bit later, but like I said, the news of John Madden actually did kind of threw me a little bit here. John Madden was that dude, so it kind of threw off my plans here for the night. So my man Anthony is not quite with us yet. I'm gonna bring my brother in. I got a brother. I got new family. And not only do I got new family who is real. And I'm gonna bring him in, my man Jeremiah Poyer. What is going on, big dog?
How you doing, boss? I appreciate you having me.
Man, I appreciate you being on, man. It's so a lot of people don't know, and this is not a thing where I'm saying that like me and your brother are friends, but you and I have actually we have more conversations, and we talk a lot now, and I appreciate you. So I appreciate you for jumping on, and hey, we gonna get it in tonight. I told you before coming on here, I'm gonna talk some crap.
I'm ready for it. I do want to say rest in peace, John Madden. He was a big influence to a lot of people, and that probably through the video game, even though people don't want to talk about the video game being, he can hit a lot of levels, a lot of generations because of what he's built as far as a person. So I do respect and rest in peace, John Madden. Appreciate it.
Well, no, you know what? I don't want to not talk about the video game, because the thing with the video game is that what John Madden did with the video game, he made the common fan, like the person who really, he was able to connect people to the game on several levels. So first, he taught the fundamentals of the game. Secondly, there are people who know names of players who otherwise wouldn't have known them, because when you're playing the game of Madden and you pick your team, you end up basically utilizing your roster, and then that's how you learn the game.
Right.
So no, he brought a familiarity with the game. He brought a love to the game through a video game. And for my first one, man, it started for me with Sega Genesis. I don't know about you. What was your first? That's aging me a bit. It's showing my age.
Man.
Do you know what your first Madden was?
I think it was man. My first Madden might have been like really young. I don't know if it was Nintendo 64 or my first one that I remember was PS4 or PS3 Madden 07 with Vic on the cover. That's the first one I remember.
Okay. Yeah, no, that one, the one with Vic on the cover was special, but I think that was special for a few different reasons. One, it was like the first year. Well, I can't say the first year, but it was the first year that the running quarterback became like on the video game, it became a serious weapon. Because before that, you had a couple quarterbacks that had some mobility and some speed, but you weren't dominating games like you were doing with Mike Vick. Once we got that thing in there with Mike Vick, man, it was over.
Yeah, that game was broken, but it built a segue into having running quarterbacks that you could just run around in the backfield for about an hour with Mike Vick and then just throw a streak and
easy. All you had to do, really, you didn't even have to call. You could call any play and then just run it to the side. And it was almost reminiscent of Bo in the video game that Bo was in, how you really could just give Bo the ball and just do whatever you wanted to do.
That's a little beyond my age gap, but my dad will appreciate that.
Yo, come on.
I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. You know what? You already on it. So I'm gonna tell you what. So we still got Anthony coming in. He's having some technical difficulties. He just let me know. So we're gonna kind of wait for him to come in, but you and I can kind of get this thing jumping, man. Let's start off here. Since you just called me old, let's start off here. Your brother was snubbed out of a Pro Bowl spot, and not just your brother, Micah, Josh, Tremaine. There's quite a few of them on the team that I feel were deserving of a Pro Bowl spot. How about I just take a second and give you a second just to go? I don't even want to ask a question. I just want to know your feelings on it.
Man, there's a lot of reasons, and I'm really gonna not try to sound like a homer here. But I was looking at a bunch of like statistical categories. If you just go by statistics, he has better stats than the guy up in Kansas City. Other than tackles, he has better stats than the guy in San Diego or Los Angeles, I guess. And it's not the reason I'm sick of it is not just because of this year. Like, this has been 5 years in the making of him getting snubbed. Debatable or not, for 5 years, you can't snub somebody debatably for 5 years, especially not this year where he's been killing it from the beginning. And I'll just take that from a Jordan Poyer standpoint, as far as the last time we've seen an elite safety core this good that I can remember is probably the Legion of Boom. And I went back and look at their stats from 2011, 2015. And Jordan has better stats than every single one of them than Earl and Cam in all those years. I think forced fumbles was the only stat category that Earl had more than Jordan in. And it's just beyond me as far as that. Josh is I don't know how that happened, because he's popular. You know what I mean? Like everybody looks at it like a popularity contest. He's a popular guy. He's a very relatable guy, and he has every single number to back it up. As far as his stats in. And I'm assuming that's what people look at. Yeah, obviously, you have the eye test, and you can't tell me that Josh hasn't passed the eye test in every big game this year.
No, you can't, because really, now I know obviously there's a couple games there that we want to have back. So the Jaguars game, and
right.
Obviously the first Patriots game, but that was one of those games where it's weather. You can't really. I don't count that one against Josh as much as I count it against the coaching, and that's on me. I don't expect you to say that. I'm saying that, but you do look at certain games throughout the season, and it's like, how do you not put Josh above Lamar Jackson? How do you not put, and this is not a diss on. I love Lamar. I actually have a signed autographed jersey from Lamar. I love Lamar, but the thing is, this season, I understand. Yes, he's doing more with less because he doesn't he had 3 of his running backs going injured reserve, and he doesn't really have a true number 1 wide receiver because, Sammy Watkins, Sammy's good, but Sammy isn't like the number. He's not Steph. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Again, that's not a shot at Sammy. It's more so saying the caliber of receiver is not Diggs. It's not Devontae Adams. So for you not to recognize the guy that's second in the league with touchdown, like Josh is second in the league in scoring touchdowns, and at least I thought that the whole point of offense was to score.
Right.
Like I thought that was the whole point. And when you have a guy that's doing it better than everybody in the league except for one person, how does that guy not make the Pro Bowl? I don't understand, man.
Right. No, and I guess as far as like the MVP debate, he's up there as well. And I don't know if I don't remember the last time I've seen a quarterback in the MVP debate that didn't make the Pro Bowl. I'm a little confused about that.
Damn. And that's and so I'll have to publicly apologize to him now anyway too, because I actually said previously Josh ain't gonna get MVP this year because he had too many turnovers.
Right.
But he's turned over the last, from the second half of the Buccaneers game, he's turned around. I guess what I see as his season, he's been like deadly accurate. I always joke. I know everybody saw Training Day with Denzel, and he's like, I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. Like, that's how I look at how Josh has been since the second half of the Bucs game. He's just out there being ridiculous. But really the real reason for anger and riot for me is your brother and Micah. Tremaine he's like a first alternate. So I guess like that's not as bad, but it's still like he should have made it. Matt Milano to me should have made it. But
Absolutely.
Your brother, the safeties, man, like that's the part that I get caught up on, because you can't tell me anywhere around the league where there's a tandem of guys who play the way these guys play together. You can't do it. And I don't care if you want to go statistically. I don't care if you want to go with the eye test. I don't care how you want to go. There is no one in the league playing at the level that Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are playing at the moment. No,
right.
Just period.
And for me, it's like, okay, so if you're gonna hold both of them out, as far as maybe it's they're splitting votes. That my mom had that theory that they're splitting fan vote, they're splitting coaches votes, they're splitting players votes. That's why neither of them are getting it very often. That's possible, but at the same time, they're like individually they both had 5 interceptions. So I'm not sure. I thought the whole point of playing defensive backfield was to take the ball away, and they're doing it better than everybody besides Diggs. And coincidentally, like I just don't understand. I don't understand the thought process going through getting these Pro Bowl teams together. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a homer, and I know I do, but you can't really argue with the numbers. And then if you want to go eye test, like they've been doing it all year, and most people that say eye test don't watch enough Buffalo Bills games to even say, oh, he doesn't look like this or he doesn't look like that. Like you watch 1 or 2 Buffalo Bills games and say he doesn't have it. Like,
man, and with the eye test stuff that you're talking about, I think the bigger point to me, and I get that Pro Bowl voting probably ended closer to the point that I'm about to make, but when Tre'Davious White went out, and then you look at the defense pretty much not miss a beat You know what I mean? Like, you have an all-pro cornerback that's now gone. He's no longer on the roster. Well, he's on the roster, but he's not active. And
top two
our
cornerback.
passing top. Hey, I'm not even mad at you. I ain't
top
even
two cornerback in the NFL.
Talk to him. Talk to him. Okay, let's show some love to my man Trey, because that he's that good. But the thing is, so are our safeties. Our safeties are just that good that they need to be recognized in the same way, because you lose a top two cornerback talent, and then your defense still shuts down offenses. Before I get your take on that, I'm gonna bring Anthony in. I'm gonna bring my brother in and get his takes on some of this. My man, what's going on? You finally got you working?
Yeah, I had to come in the house. It wasn't working up in the barn.
That's all right. I know you wanted to show off. You wanted to show all your cool Bills, all the stuff you got on the walls. This guy has more Bill stuff than like a Bills Hall of Fame. Like, it's crazy.
Nah, it's a nice comfort zone for me, especially when the wife's yelling at me.
Well, I'm not gonna touch that one. I'm not gonna touch that one at all. But we were just talking about the Pro Bowl snubs, and we were talking about how Jordan, Micah, Tremaine, Josh, all these guys haven't made it. What are your thoughts on the way that whole thing played out?
I think it's an embarrassment, to be honest with you. If we don't make the Super Bowl, I wouldn't go. If they end up getting in, I wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. I'd pull a Terrell Owens and not show up like he did in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, you know what? It comes down to, you just gotta do right, because at some point it's like the NFL. So the NFL to me is getting to the point where fans are starting to realize, like, okay, it's always been about money, but it's about money. B, like, they show favoritism, like, it's always the Bradys, it's always the Rodgers, so it's like now when it's affecting our defensive players like this, and we're a small market, so we don't get the attention all the time anyway. But this year and last year, we deserved the attention. So, it's one thing when Bills fans will go out there and scream and cry about the fact that they feel like the team deserves more, but we really were, we were 6-10, and we were.
I don't know how you could be first in defense and not one person on the defense make the Pro Bowl.
Not one.
You're literally and all statistically, you're first place in your defense, and not one person on the defense made the team. Come on.
Doesn't even make sense.
At that point, it's blatant to me. Like, blatant disrespect to the Buffalo Bills.
Well, look, so let's talk a little bit, man, and I'm gonna bring my man Jeremiah back in here in a moment. But before we do, I want to introduce you for a second here. I know everyone knows you. I know everybody knows you, but my man Anthony is the co-founder of Pancho's Army, and he's doing a lot of good stuff in Buffalo and beyond. Not just Buffalo, he's doing a lot for a lot of people. So why don't you take a quick moment, just tell us a little bit about how Pancho's Army got started. Tell me what your goals are, who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to do.
First and foremost, I'm nothing without amazing people like you, and a lot of people on Twitter. I mean, we're a band of misfits, but we try to spread some good. It all started when my mother got cancer, and Ezra got cancer, and it just, it grew from there. We tried to just give back more and, keep Ezra's legacy alive, and it just grew. And it was just amazing to see all the people that reached out. We got people from Alaska, people from Canada. It's even people in Mexico. It's pretty amazing. It's just to see people contribute in the way that they do, and to show the love, especially in the time of this world that we're in right now. It's, we need more of it. So, but
yeah, and I'm proud to say that you're my friend and brother, man. Like, you've been it's been a few years now that you've been doing this, and it's been a few years now that we've known each other. And one of the things that I can say about you is that you don't take anything lightly. Like, regardless of how small or how big some may consider something, you're giving it the same energy every single time. It doesn't matter if it's something that you're helping somebody for $10, or if it's something that you're helping somebody for 100,000. So, man, for that, I just want to say thank you for being a part of the community of Buffalo. I want to say thank you for being my friend and my brother. And hey, man, let's continue to make this thing great, man. 2022 is coming.
Absolutely.
Do that
I
thing, man.
greatly appreciate it, man. I agree. I appreciate all your support, and especially everybody at Bills Mafia. Like I said, I call it Bills Mafia Familia. It's truly a family, where we care about each other. We reach out, we spread that love where sometimes some people can't, they can't get it. So I'm grateful to be a part of it.
All right, so let me bring my brother, my brother Jeremiah back in real quick. We got a super chat from John. We kind of already answered this, but let's talk about it together. So, how is a top passing defense and a top 5 passing offense not have these guys selected? Josh and Poyer lead or top 3 in the league in almost every category. And I mean, that's kind of that speaks to what Jeremiah was talking about earlier when he even brought up the Legion of Boom statistics. We're just better. We're just better.
Yeah.
So I don't quite get it. I don't get it.
I just want somebody to make it make sense.
Oh, it doesn't. I stopped trying to. After that came out, I think I stopped trying to understand it because I think I text Spence afterwards like, dude, I don't get it, dude. I don't know what they're doing back there in the office. I don't know.
Somebody's clearly not paying attention.
Yeah, they just don't like it's too cold here.
I feel like people are paying attention. So let me say it like this. I feel like, in all season I've been saying, Poyer for all pro, we riot. Poyer for all pro, we riot, right?
Yeah, what are we going to do about that?
Well, this isn't the all pro selection, so I'm not rioting yet. I got to save my energy for that.
It's going to happen.
But that's kind of where I was going. I feel like the proper recognition will come. Like, I think this is the year that Jordan is going to be an all pro. If I'm wrong about that, man, it should be like something that's investigated, like real talk, like not even being funny. That has to be, because you can't look at this team and you can't look at your brother Jeremiah. You can't look at Jordan and tell me that he's not all pro worthy. I don't even want to hear the conversation.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on back there, and he should, by every means, he should be an all pro, first team, not second team. He should be a first team all pro. And but I stopped holding out faith that they'll give him his due, to be honest.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the game. So we just went to Foxborough and we beat the brakes off the New England Patriots. Beat the brakes off of them. Let's talk a little bit about my guy. I've been hard on Isaiah McKenzie. I've been pretty tough on him, but I've been tough on him in the sense of punt return and kick return. He filled in as a wide receiver this week because of Cole Beasley being out. How do we feel about his performance? How do we feel about it going forward? Do we feel like there should be, like where do we go with from here? Let's start with Anthony real quick, because I feel like me and Jeremiah talked a whole lot real quick before he jumped in. So let's start with Anthony, and then I'll swing that question over to Jeremiah.
I'll be honest with you. I told you guys a week before the game, I said Little Dirty's going to have it. I said he's going to tear it up. I said he's going to burn these boys like a brisket. He's that mentality. He's there for the team. He's there for our community. He's just he's an all-around guy that I think we can utilize more than just in the punt return.
Yeah, well, so I'll swing this part of the question to Jeremiah. So I'm not so I'm a huge fan of Isaiah McKenzie. I'm not a fan of him as a punt return, kick returner. And the reason being is not that I don't think that he's not dangerous. I think he's absolutely dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands and he makes a decision. My issue with him back there was that I didn't feel like he really made decisions quickly. And because of that, then you have times where, you get a turnover here or you get lost yards here or whatever the case, which is subsequently the reason he was benched. How do you feel about him in this offense?
I personally, I think I've been saying this since like week 2. I think he is the most dangerous piece that a team can have, because he's somebody that you could put in a bunch of. He's a do-it-all tool on the offensive end. Now, in the discussion, I've said this as well. In the discussion between him and Cole Beasley, they are two different types of players, two different types of slots. I think McKenzie is a do-it-all tool that you could put and implement in the offense, and especially when they're blitzing or they're bringing 4, dropping 7 against Josh because they don't want him to throw the football because he's gonna find holes. He's fast and he's gonna burn. That's what he does. Cole Beasley is a blitz beater. He's been a blitz beater since he was. That's why he had such a good first year, second year. People were bringing pressure at Josh, a lot. And the first 2 years with us, he was killing it. And this year, they're not blitzing him as much. I think they can both be used properly in this offense to help win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. So and I guess so at the top of this, I was saying like, you know, it's time for like Cole. I don't want Cole to not be involved. I love Cole, and I think kind of what you were just saying, he's an automatic kind of get open kind of dude. I want him in his offense, but I think it needs to get to a point where instead of us making sure Beasley gets 7 or 8 targets or 6 targets, I need some of those to go to Isaiah. Like I need some of those to go to Isaiah because, to your point, he's dangerous. I always compare him to Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's as good as Hill because obviously he would be the number 1 wide receiver on some team if he was.
Don't tell that to Isaiah.
You said what, Anthony?
Don't say that to Isaiah.
Well, I'll say it to him if he wants to come on the show. It's not a diss. It's not a slight to him.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm like, that guy's just motivated beyond motivated.
Yeah, and that's what I love about him. He's hungry, but he's talented. So for me, looking at him, I'm like, yo, he needs the same type of snaps. He needs the same. They need to put him in the game plan the same way Kansas City puts Tyreek Hill in their game plan. Let's talk a little bit about just because looking back on that game, and then you go on Twitter, and everybody in the comments from New England is like, well, who the hell is this McKenzie dude? I don't know if y'all saw that. But it was a lot of people. Who is this number 19? Who is this dude that is tearing us up? Who is this? Who is that? So now do you see it being that if we get him some snaps, our team's going to have to start kind of preparing for him, or is it still? Do you still think it's a Cole Beasley, like it's his spot when he gets right back?
You want to go ahead?
But I think you got a lot more to worry about than just Cole Beasley. I mean, you got Gabe Davis. I mean, Isaiah. You got Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, you got a shit ton of trouble right there.
I think Davis is out another week. I believe so because unless they just changed that rule from 10 days to 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, it is 10 days, but now they changed it to 5. But prior to them changing it to 5, he tested positive, I believe, Saturday or Friday. So he would have missed this upcoming week as well. But now that that's changed, hopefully we can get him back for this game here.
For me, as far as like you brought up Tyreek Hill, I like a comparison as far as McCole Hardman. I think that McKenzie in a fly motion, he makes them flow towards him, opens up running lanes. I think that you can run a lot of stuff with him in the backfield. You can run a lot of stuff from him on the slot, from the outside. Like I said, for me, he's a do-it-all tool that like you have to pay attention to, which in the end is going to open up Diggs, which is the goal for to get your number 1 wide receiver on man coverage. So
he's definitely a distraction for the defense.
Yeah. Anthony, let me ask you this, man. So not this past Sunday against the Patriots, but the Sunday prior, Devin Singletary had the best game that we've seen from a running back in a Buffalo Bills uniform this season. It still wasn't necessarily like, you know, it wasn't Thurman Thomas, but it was the best game we had this year from a running back. Then this game, he had some plays, but it wasn't quite the same performance. How do you feel about our running game right now? What do you think needs to happen going forward, going into the playoffs? Because we're pretty much there. We're at the playoffs now. So what do you expect out this running game?
I really think that we just have to utilize them in a way that they're used to, you know, running the ball. I mean, Moss he's a banger, man. That man hits heads. He just runs through the hole. I mean, Singletary he's a different running back from Moss. I mean, then you got Breda. I mean, you got a lot of options. I mean, as far as for the running back, but I mean, I'm pretty content for our running backs. I think once our O-line gets back strength, you know, playing together, I think they'll show more continuity. You know, as far as like Deion Dawkins coming in and filling in for Ike, you know, speedy recovery to him. Yeah, you know, but you know, he came in and he handled his business. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, with that next man up mentality, I think, you know, all our running backs are going to see a fair share. But I think, you know, once one gets hot, I think we need to stick with them and you know, shake that out.
Man, Jeremiah, this Anthony just brought up a good point. He was talking about the offensive line. I feel like this past Sunday was the best performance that we've seen from our offensive line all year. How do you feel about
100%.
our line?
Josh moved the
100%.
ball too, man. Josh did a lot of things too that we haven't seen from him in the past, 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. This was the best from my point of view, the best performance from the O line. I think Ryan Bates could have played guard all year. I do think that they were protecting him as a backup center because you never know, and I think he's the only other one that can snap the ball. But I think he could be one of the better guards. Definitely a better guard on our team, but one of the better guards in the NFL if they let him play it for a while. I do like the timing of Bates coming into the lineup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was refreshing to watch a game and not see Josh Allen get beat up. Like there were plays where he was really standing there with time to throw, just like time, and it's been rare this season where we've seen Josh have that ability, but you see what happens when he does. Let's talk a little bit about Josh's performance.
I'll be honest, I think it started from the second half, from the Bucs game. From that second half of the Bucs game, it clearly was a clearly different offensive line.
I think Josh has been different since the second half of that Bucs game. I think
he came like that.
Yeah, that Bucs game, that first half, I feel like, I'm not saying that because I don't think that the team let him down by any means, but I feel like something clicked for him to say, you know what, if I have to do this by my damn self, I'm going to do it. If y'all with me, let's go. And I just feel like he's on that zone, not anything against anybody else, but I just feel like he made his mind up at that point. Like, look, this is what's happening.
Get on my back. Yeah. We're going for a ride.
I said this. Oh, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I said this about Josh in 2018, I think. There's like points, there's like moments in, especially young quarterbacks' careers. You've seen it kind of with Brady when he gets smacked by Clements, stands up, tells his old lineman to get off me. Like those moments make players want to play for you. And when he jumps over the Vikings, Anthony Barr, I was at that game. That was the first game I seen him play in person. And when he jumps over Anthony Barr, like that tells the rest of the players that I don't give a damn what I'm lacking right now. But like when stuff comes down the line, I'm gonna give it everything I got, and that you can know. And so ever since that game, I said the Bills got their franchise guy, and you've seen it. He jumps over Kansas City Chiefs guy 3rd and long for first down. He jukes J.C. Jackson with the ball. Like these little plays when he fumbled the snap against Dallas, picks it up, says, "No, I'm getting this." You know what I mean? Like these are plays that shows your team.
Still gives me chills.
Right? These are plays that shows your team, like, yo, I'm here to ride, and you guys, as long as you ride with me, like we can do this. And that's what I respect. That's what I don't see in Mac, unfortunately, Pats fans. Sorry.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? Mac is like, I don't even know why the national media is so. I'm not saying that he's not going to be good. I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be. Again, everybody keeps saying, oh, well, yeah, he's a rookie now. He's going to take a Josh Allen leap. Look, Josh Allen wasn't expected to make a Josh Allen leap. So when I talk about Mac Jones and I talk about his limitations, the thing is, it's very difficult. Yeah, you can lift weights, but his arm isn't going to get like that much stronger. He's not going to get, he's accurate. I'll give him that, but his arm isn't going to get like, he's not going to be able to throw the ball through the side of a wall. So like, I just don't know what my expectations are. But before we get to Mac, before we talk about him, you mentioned Josh jumping over players and stuff like that. Just from a perspective, as much as you can, because I don't want to cross any lines here, but as much as you can, like, what is it like when, so after the game and your brother calls you or texts you and something like that happens, like on defense, what are those guys, you know what I mean? Like, what's the conversation like on that side? Like, dude, did you see that shit? Like, because it amazes us as fans. I just always wondered how the players react to that stuff when they see it from the sideline.
Well, I think he's been around Josh a long time. And I think that what he tells you into the national media about Josh is how he feels. He will go to war with that kid any day because he knows that Josh is going to give everything to win a football game. And that's something that, like, you don't get in a lot of players. You don't get in a lot of quarterbacks. Somebody that can just hop in as a rookie and get that respect from the veterans on the team. And he did that. And he's been growing ever since. It hasn't slowed down.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Yeah, Anthony, for you, when was the first time you remember, like when you saw Josh, and then you were just like, okay, no, this is the guy.
I'll be honest, just the way he interacted with our community. My son had a flag football tournament, and he just showed up and like just dominated it. And I've seen him out at the restaurants and stuff, and at the bar. When I paid for his tab, he looked at me. He's like, "You don't have to do that." I told him to go fuck himself. I go, "Cut it out. Welcome to Buffalo." I'm like, "This is how we treat family." We take, and he continued to grow. He dominated every year from year one to where he's at now. He's improved drastically, and it's amazing to see.
Just so you know, I love you, man. Now you're gonna make me work. You got me editing because you're dropping F-bombs. Relax.
Sorry about that. You didn't tell me about this.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I just got to edit now. It's cool. And we ain't got much longer. For me, I remember the year we drafted him. It was, so I'll be honest, and I've said this publicly before, so y'all can beat me up like everybody else has. When it was time to draft him, I wanted Lamar Jackson because we were coming off of a Tyrod Taylor-led team. So the way the offense looked for us, it was more of a mobile, it was that look. So I'm like, I want Lamar. Dude, when we drafted Josh and then we went to the practice, Josh threw a ball. I can't even remember who caught it, but like in practice, he threw a ball like 65 yards down the field. That was just like effortless. And I remember I called my grandfather, and I was like, dude, okay, this kid is different. It's about to be like that. I know everybody kind of has the same.
Did it in Wyoming, though, man. He did it in Wyoming, man. Just the same deal. He put them kids on his back and he said, "Let's go." And look at what they're doing now, man. They're winning bowl games. So
I just didn't really watch Wyoming a lot, and I mean, I get it. He was doing it, but it was like, I didn't really watch him a lot because, they're not one of the schools that like everybody, really Wyoming, everybody watches Alabama, Clemson, and not anything away from Wyoming or anything away from any other schools, but like the big games, everybody watches certain games. You watch Notre Dame, you watch Ohio State, but Wyoming just wasn't that team. So like for me, it was like, and then Lamar just won the Heisman. So I'm like, no, I want Lamar. Man, was I wrong? I was so wrong. And I would have been happy with Lamar. I think Lamar has done a very good job for up to this point in his career. I think people in Baltimore are happy with him. But man, Josh is different.
Yeah, he is.
I do think that, because I was on the Lamar train as well. I think that he would have came in and made an immediate playoff Super Bowl because of the way the team was formed at the time. It was a really good defense with a all right running game, like a solid running game. And then, I mean, you just game manage the game away. So he was probably the best game manager in the draft that you could have had that could just break explosive plays. I didn't like the rest of the quarterbacks. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like Baker. I didn't like Rosen. I didn't like Donald. And so Josh wasn't a bad pick for me, but I'm glad that it all worked out.
Man, I'm gonna just tell you, Baker is bums. I talk about Baker, and I was supposed to open this show up. That's how I was going to do my monologue. I was going to talk about how horrible Baker is for 15 minutes before I brought you two on, because the way I see Baker, real talk, like Baker talks as if he plays like Josh. That's how I see it. He talks so much stuff. Like he talks like he's so good, but he's not. Like I don't know. He's blunt.
He's a sober Johnny Manziel.
I think that's disrespectful to Johnny Manziel.
Man. For me, what Baker, like what he gives off is that confidence that he wants from his teammates that Josh has earned through those plays that I'm telling you about. Like Josh has earned those. He didn't come in talking a bunch. He came in and just showed that he had heart. I think that Baker is trying to talk like he has heart, and it's not working out for him as far as that. But I do think he's all right. I'm not going to say it.
Well, no, I mean, he's all right. He's in the NFL. He's talent. I don't want to make it seem like I'm sitting here saying he shouldn't be in the league at all. But what I'm saying is, like, when you're the number one overall pick and you have the roster that you have, he has for his entire career, he's had one of the deepest rosters on both sides of the ball. And you can't tell me he hasn't, because I got receipts, bro. Like, there's no way in the world you gonna tell me if you gave Josh Allen his rookie year, if you tell me you're gonna give Josh Allen the type of offensive weapons that he had, as opposed to Kelvin Benjamin, like, you mean to tell me he wouldn't have performed better with that team? And then you give Josh Allen right now, 2 great running backs with that offensive line and the arm that he has, and tell me we're not winning the Super Bowl year in and year out. Like, it's gonna be a whole new dynasty.
Yeah, I agree with you.
See, y'all couldn't even argue with me. Y'all couldn't even argue.
I agree with you, but
So, and I guess that's why I'm hard on Baker, because he talks like, and Rex Ryan said the other day, he's like, we see 10 commercials and 4 interceptions, and that's what I see. Like, that's what I see. He's out here on TV every time it don't even have to be football. I turn the channel, I'm watching Snowfall, and all of a sudden I see Baker Mayfield talking. It's like, why is Baker? Why? When Josh came out the draft and he had his rookie year, he wasn't as accurate as everybody wanted him to be. He went and worked. He got a little bit better. He worked on some things. Cool. Second year still wasn't there. He went and worked. You didn't see Josh starting to do all of this national stuff. Cleveland is just as small of a market as Buffalo, and people could argue that all they want to. Baker chose to go that route as opposed to go. And I'm not saying he doesn't work, but it's clear what's super, super important to Josh Allen. And what's super, super important to Josh Allen is being one of those guys that when it's all said and done, he's going to go down as being remembered as a dog. And I don't get that from Baker. I don't.
As someone who came from Cleveland as a fan, that organization is the infrastructure. It's not the players. It's the infrastructure of the organization. So when you get to Cleveland, you get your bag. That's why Baker's been, you know what I mean? Like, Baker's been doing what he can to get his bags, and I respect it. It is what it is. But yeah, you're not wrong. If Josh Allen had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt running the ball down the throats, like, Josh Allen might have 5,000 yards a year. So I don't know.
Dude, this man Baker, and I'm gonna get off Baker, but this man Baker had Odell Beckham Jr. at one point. I know he's gone now, but he had Odell Beckham Jr. Who we have? David Njoku. He had Austin Hooper. He has what's his other receiver?
Jarvis
Landry. So you mean to tell me with Jarvis Landry now Josh has Diggs for 2 years, right? But come on, man. We can get off Baker.
Yeah, did you see that tweet where OBJ said he was close to finding out where he lived in the stadium, and that's why they cut him?
Yo, no, I didn't see that. Odell was funny,
God.
man.
I was dying.
I wanted him to go somewhere where he was going to be not necessarily the number 1 wide receiver, but just somewhere where he was going to be involved in the offense. And I think he kind of struck gold out there in LA. Obviously, our boy Robert Woods got injured, so that kind of helped as far as targets for him and everything. Hopefully a speedy recovery to Robert, man. And I miss him in Buffalo. Jeez, if I miss a receiver, it's Robert Woods.
Buffalo's groomed some good ones back in the Wyatt Teller out there making the Pro Bowl every year.
I was just gonna say, man, Wyatt Teller, I love that dude. He got paid, man. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. But you know what? At the time, and I know sometimes now Bills fans, we still kind of go back and forth about it, like he's the one that got away. But in all honesty, if you remember that year, we were gonna cut him. He wasn't gonna make the roster.
We had a lot of good guys, man. A lot of potential. You know what I mean? It's a hard job, man.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, tell me something, man. This Sunday, we got a home game again, right? We're going up against these Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, sir.
So, where's the tailgate? What's happening? Where's the party at Sunday morning? So, when everybody who's listening to this and everybody who's watching, when they want to get out there and they want to hang out with Pancho's Army and the Bills Mafia babes and whoever else is hanging with them.
We'll be at the Mafia House, cooking chicken wings and pizza logs and. Next week for the Jets game, we'll be doing for the Feedmore, Western New York Feedmore. We're doing another a food drive. So we'll have some good prizes that are being donated. So it'll be a lot of fun. Other than that, man, we'll be at the Mafia House.
I'm gonna tell y'all what, if y'all haven't tailgated, and I know Buffalo tailgates the way Buffalo tailgates, and we do the damn thing. Ain't nobody like us around the league, right? But if you haven't had a chance to tailgate with Anthony and the rest of Pancho's Army, I'm gonna just tell you, you need to find your way to wherever it is that he's gonna be this Sunday. Because look, They party. It's the way to do it. Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying. We have a good time,
Okay.
man. There's a lot of good spots, man.
So why you telling me to cut it out?
Yo, you can go to Hammer's lot. You can go to the Grass lot.
No. I don't. No. Don't go to Hammers. Jay Spence don't support Hammers.
Yo, I do not. I'm not a fan of the way the man treats people, and but I'm not going to sit here and waste my time. So,
no, I mean you're right. If people want to,
people like to go where they want to go. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do nowadays. It's just not me.
I'm gonna tell y'all the fun and the right place to be. Go be with Pancho's Army and my man Anthony. That's the place to be.
Listen, man, you never know who might show up, man. We had Mary Wilson show up. Ralph Wilson's wife show up last week. She showed up in her, let me tell you what, bro, this thing. I was like, is that a PT Cruiser? She's like, hell no, that ain't no PT Cruiser. She's like, that's my BB Cruiser. This thing was a decked out PT Cruiser, bro, with the Bills logo on the side, all leather, white leather interior, bro. This thing was, I'm telling you, it was like West Coast Customs. Hit that shit up.
I can't tell you the last time I saw a PT Cruiser. I think, like, in my mind, when I think of PT Cruisers now, I think of a Baby from Young or Cash Money. Like, I can't remember anybody else with a PT Cruiser.
Man, she's an amazing woman, man. She's I don't know how old she is, but she comes out, she'll have a beer with us. She don't care if it's a Miller Lite or a Busch Light. She comes out and supports what we do because we do the food drives, and like just this past Christmas we did a thing for the Monday night game. We raised $800 and we supported some local family here in Lewiston that lost their mother to COVID. It was 4 kids. Their Christmas was amazing. So, I mean, thank you again to everybody else that came out and supported that, and our food drives and everything that we do, man. I appreciate everybody's help, and again, thank you and God bless.
Well, do you have anything coming? Because, like I said, the season is ending. So, I know is getting to that point where a lot of what we do is going to kind of take a little bit of a break because the season is breaking. But do you have anything major coming up that people can get involved with? Any donations that you're looking for, or just anything?
Well, as of right now, we're doing the food drive coming up for the Jets game. That's for the Western New York Feed More. As far as that, this summer we're planning on Pancho's Army's first annual golf tournament. We're looking to secure Thurman Thomas, Patty Thomas, a couple other people, Joe Kroom, maybe Jeremiah wants to come out and hang out.
Oh man, my golf swing is, I don't know.
Yo, listen, man,
I'll be there.
You can drive the cart, fam.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe Kroom. That's my dude. Shout out to Joe Kroom. That's my guy right there. Yeah.
Me and Joe Kroom spent the ride all the way out to Tennessee together, so we learned a lot about each other. That's for sure.
Yeah, he good people.
He's a good man.
Real good people. Yeah.
He's remarkable, man. He's sometimes I think he's in over his head, and then next thing you know, this man's sitting on top of the world. I love it. He works hard. He does a lot of things for a lot of people that nobody sees, and it's remarkable to have him a part of Pancho's Army as well.
So, let's before we get out of here, we got a few minutes left. Before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about this game Sunday. What are your expectations? Let's start with Jeremiah real quick. What are your expectations? And it doesn't have to be a long one because I don't think that there's really much to say. What do you expect to see this Sunday?
I think this is an ideal matchup for our team. I think that they like to throw the ball, and I think that we are very good at not letting people throw the football. So I think we can bring 4 and drop 7 and have 4 or 5, 3 or 4 picks on Sunday.
I need your brother to get one.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
I hope he's got like all 4 of them. After he got, Hyde robbed him, man. He got, you see that Poyer gave him to. He's like, man, you told that. We're going to mess around. We're going to mess around and we're going to drop this thing.
Yeah, I tweeted. I was like, Micah stole Jordan's pick, man. And that. But, the thing is, though, you can tell that the whole team.
They love each other.
Yeah, it's a love with everybody where it's like, I'm sure Jordan wanted it, but at the same time, it's like, look, man, we all out here and we're going to be a dominating defense. What are your expectations this Sunday, Anthony?
I actually think it's going to be a good game. I don't think people think we're going to walk all over them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's definitely going to be some interceptions by Matt Ryan. But as far as our defense, man, we look We look ready to go. Our offense is humming. I think we're definitely going to pull it out. But they're a hungry team, man. I think they're 7-7. What are they? I mean, I know they're fighting for a playoff spot as well. I think they're 500, aren't they?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't even that prepared because I know they aren't good, and I see Beehive.
We said that about the Jags, man. We said that shit about the Jags, bro. We can't.
The Jags aren't good. No, and that's what I was about to bring up because Beehive Sports Podcast in the comments just said expectation. Don't let a Jags game.
I don't underestimate any opponent.
But no, you know what? I'm going to underestimate them, just like I underestimated the Jags. And the reason why is because I can still tell you, man. Look, 10 out of 10 games, the Buffalo Bills will probably lose one game to the Jags. And the thing is, they lost that game. I don't know why they lost that game, but we are a better team than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and nobody can tell me differently.
Listen, man, we went over to London and got handed an L from the Jags. We got handed an L in the playoffs from the Jags. So
those are different teams. Those are different years, man.
I'm like, it's just something about them teams. Like the teams that we're supposed to beat, we lose to, and the teams that we're supposed to lose to, we end up winning. It's a weird philosophy. Like we're built to face certain different teams. You know what I mean? It's just.
I appreciate your point of view, and the players should absolutely take that mindset. But as a fan, we're supposed to beat the S word out of this Falcons team.
You can say shit. It's the other words you can't say.
I want to make sure. But I do appreciate it because the players should absolutely have that mindset that we're just going to play every game individually.
Like you saw when we were playing the Jags, that whole sideline, they were like, they were at like a DMX concert. I swear they were like moving. They were like, let's go. You want to come to here and you think you're going to beat us? That's the way we should be playing all year long.
And that's where I can agree with you, Anthony, is like, okay, we have to show up for the game. But my thing is, I just feel like we didn't show up for that game. And that's not, I love my guys, but I feel like that's the game that if I could have any game back this year out of all the losses we've had, I'm not as angry about the first Patriots game because it was the weather. I'm not using that as an excuse, but it was clearly the weather. Like Josh couldn't throw in that stuff as great as he is. It's the Jaguars game that I want back. And the thing is, if we would have just shown up, we would have destroyed that team. There's no way that the defense holds a team to 9 points and you have an offense with those guys only score 6. That's the problem. It's not we didn't. I'm not worried about the Jags. I'm not worried about this Atlanta team. You know what I mean? So it's like, so when I say like, no, I'm underestimating.
I'm rooting for the Jags this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. I'm rooting for them this weekend, and they better go and do the damn thing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be a Miami fan the next week too.
Yeah, they now Miami. Here's the thing: Miami can actually, the way maybe I'm looking at the statistic, they can actually still make the playoffs. And if I guess depending based on how New England performs, New England can still miss.
Yeah, if the New England loses 2, and the Miami wins 2, I believe New England would be out.
Let's do that.
I'm a big Miami fan until we see them in the playoffs. I'm a big Miami fan.
Yeah, if we all end up 11-6, if we end up 11-6 with Kansas City, I think we're first seed, right? That'd be a Christmas gift and a half.
That'd be great. But yo, so before we get out of here, Anthony, if you got any shout outs or anything that like I said, you just talked about the charity, but if you got anything that you want to shout out real quick and talk about, let's talk about that real quick. Let everybody know where they can find you on your socials.
Well, Twitter, I'm on Be Cool Foo, Vivel Pancho. On Instagram, I'm Pancho's Army 716. First and foremost, boys, I want to say happy holidays to you guys. Happy New Year's. You know, stay safe, stay healthy, and to everybody out there that supports me, again, thank you so much, and God bless. And let's keep this thing rolling, man. Let's go Bills.
Yes, sir. Let's go Bills. Jeremiah, let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going on.
You ain't gotta follow me on socials, but I do want to let all Bills Mafia know that it's all love. I swear it's all love between the Poyer family and Bills Mafia. I think that we can get a little bit misinterpreted sometimes. It's all love between us and you guys, and we're all one. Anybody that's supporting a team, my brothers on.
Ohana, man.
I appreciate you.
Wait a minute. And damn that. Go on Twitter. He is at JPO_NA. So at JPO_NA. Talking about don't follow him on social. Go blow that man's account up. Let's follow my man's in them. Because he, first of all, he has good takes, just like you heard tonight. He talks a lot of common sense, which I feel like a lot of times on Sundays, all of us lack, including myself. We get emotional, and it is what it is. And he stays with solid takes. Go follow him. He's a good dude. And real quick, I also noticed in you, because I meant to ask you about this before. In your profile, it says COD. Is that for Call of Duty?
Yeah.
And I've also noticed after games, you jump in Jordan's comments like COD, and I'm like, wait, y'all want war? Is that what you're saying?
We're Warzone grinders, or he is. I kind of just jump in when he get on.
Okay. I was about to say, don't start nothing.
No.
Man.
Well, no, listen, it's Poyer for All Pro. We ride. Y'all know how I do it over here. It's your boy Jay Spence the King, and I represent that Buffalo Rumblings podcast and YouTube channel. Y'all go follow everybody. Go follow the team, and y'all know it. Y'all take care of each other, love each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
You got to say it.
Go Bills.
Thank you, man. You killing me, bro.
Not my fault.
Conduct.